Thanks for what you're doing.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name? What's your name?
Sandra.
Sama?
Vanessa. Arlita. Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Is this where you're registered?
Yes, this is my register. Check them in.
And can they just show up to register? Or they have to need an appointment to come?
Yeah, they need to have an appointment. So we usually ask them for their license, their insurance card, and ask them what time they come in. You know, tell them how are you, be polite and everything, and just check them in and then sit them down.
And roughly how many people a day do you have come through? Any idea?
About 300 a day.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And overall, we've done about 20,000.
Yeah.
5,000 a week at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We passed 150 million. Yesterday.
Oh, really? Wow, awesome.
Heading to 200 million in the first 100 days.
yeah.
So I'm keeping a secret, everybody can hear me. So. Well, thank you. Thank what you're doing, appreciate it.
Such an honor. Thank you. It's an honor to have you. Yeah.
So
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. My name's
Good to
Kevin.
Oh, Kev, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better for seeing you guys.
So a key part with our registration here is it's very low technology barriers. So all of our patients we call directly to make sure they can get an appointment right away. If not, we text them all to make sure that we can schedule them appointments. We also have set slots set aside for community partners, which include faith-based organizations and other community organizations, just so they don't have to go through like a tedious online registration process or try to self-schedule themselves. With the communities we serve, a lot of them have varying health literacy levels, so we just make sure that we just move through quickly.
Oh, that's great.
And Mr. President, the whole focus of our program is on equity.
Yep.
So we're trying to increase equity by vaccinating our own patient population, primarily low income, uninsured, underinsured, a lot of people of color, but also working with community partners, about 100 different faith organizations.
That's why you went to
and
community
nonprofits.
centers. That's why we did that.
Exactly.
We got criticized a little for doing it, but it turned out the right thing to do. You guys are good.
And that funding and support for community health centers has been incredibly important. Also, the ability to get vaccine directly from the federal government has really allowed us to do this. And
This is the guy I have to thank. When we got in office, we only didn't have a whole lot. We have now 600 million doses. How y'all doing? Hello, Mother. How are you? What's your name? It's nice to see you all. Just don't ask me to play the piano or the organ. I can't. Don't know how. As my father would say, I have no talent at all. My dad used to play the saxophone, had a band when he was in high school. He'd look at me and say, Joey, I don't know where you came from. He said, you have 2 left feet, you can't dance. You can't carry a tune in a wheelbarrow. And then he's saying, you have no lip to play a reed instrument. But, so I had to become president. I didn't know what else to do. It's great to see you all.
It's good to see you.
Well, thank you. Now, did you guys already have your shot, or are you waiting?
Not yet.
You're waiting. Well, you're doing the right thing. Oh, you really are. We're at the point where we will have administered at least one shot to 150 million people as of yesterday. And we have, almost 75% of the seniors?
75% of seniors, people 65 and older, have gotten at least one shot, and more than half are fully vaccinated.
So, and that's the way to beat this. Get the vaccination when you can. Thank you for coming in and doing it. That's why we went to these community health centers, and these guys are doing a great job here. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I promise you, my wife, who doesn't like needles, when we went to get the shot, she was going like this. And I said, honey, it's over. It's already in and out. So it's nothing to it. Well, how many is your first shot? How many is this your second shot? The second one. Oh, you're pros. You're all pros. Well, thank you so much for doing this. You're doing the right thing. A pleasure to see you. Thank you.
It's a dream come true.
What's your name?
My name is Sabia Khan.
Well, Sevilla, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm better for seeing you, I can tell you. Well, thank you.
I'm an immigrant parent.
From where?
India.
India, yeah. Been to India a number of
I
times.
raised my 3 kids here.
Oh.
One is graduate, one is about to graduate, one is in 11th grade.
Well, great.
I'm proud to be part of America.
You are America. You are America. America is a nation of immigrants. That's who we are. And by the way, the vice president's mother was from India.
Yeah, she's from India too.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see you all.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Man, you got biceps as big as my thighs, man. You're a big man. What's your name?
My name's Carl Allen.
But Carl, you probably came and wanted a shot, and Biden's holding you up here.
Yeah, no,
Getting
he
a
was getting ready
shot.
to raise me up, and I was getting ready to get the shot.
Well, it's great to see you all. I don't want to slow things up. You're doing the right thing. It's really important. And when you go back, when you go home, get all your friends, tell them, get a shot when they can. We're going to be able to do this. Everyone's going to be able to before the month is out, every age. So, and thank you guys very much.
And thank you.
Well, this is the guy. To be a good president, you got to be smart enough to hire people smarter than you. And that's what I did with Mr. Zients here. He handled the Ebola crisis, and we asked him to come in and do this. We have a full-blown staff, and he was able to get about 600 million doses of this ready, and we're going to keep going. Hopefully, we're going to get good enough pretty soon where we have enough that we can give the rest of the world. It's because this is something that's not just we can solve it here in America. We don't solve it around the world. You can't build a wall or a fence high enough to keep out a virus.
Right, exactly.
Well, you getting ready to go, man? Yes. Fire away. Fire away. You want to hold my hand? God love you. You realize you got television here. This matters. People seeing you get the shot. It helps get other people to get the shot. You didn't even flinch. God love you. Well, thank you. He's going to be hard. He's got so much muscle mass there. You're going to have to get through it. You know what I mean? I tell you what, I could have been an All-American if I had those.
Well done.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Mary Hill,
Where are you from there?
Massachusetts.
Where?
Lowell,
Yeah, I've been to Lowell many times. Now, where do you work?
neighborhood health. I'm one of the nurse managers.
Oh, you're one of
And
those.
then I'm working with the vaccine clinic right now.
Oh, great.
We're going around.
Neighborhood Health does a lot of good work.
We are.
No, you really do a lot of good work. We're able to get you some help too, some money.
That's fabulous.
So, well, thank you. What's your name?
I'm Dania.
Hi, Dania. How are you? Well, good to see you. Did you get it, man?
Get it, man?
You set? All right. What's your name?
Julie.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Good, how are you?
And what's your name?
Tiana.
Hi, Tiana. Now, how long you guys been helping out doing this?
Since August.
Oh, that means you're almost a lifer here. How about you, hon?
Excuse me?
How long have you been helping?
For about 4 months now,
Oh, great,
since January.
great. Well, thanks for what you're doing. You're saving people's lives.
It's our pleasure.
You really are.
Quickly, do you think the worst is behind us with COVID-19?
I think if everyone continues down the road we're on now, it will be behind us, but it's not over yet. We're in a situation where I believe by the end of the summer, we'll have a significant portion of the American public vaccinated. I'm going to be making a speech when I leave here. There's no place to do it here, but back at the White House, we're going to announce how far down the road we are in terms of the number of people vaccinated at least one shot. I think before another 25 days, we'll probably have somewhere in excess of 200 million shots that have been administered. And the good news is a clear, overwhelming majority of people over the age of 65 have gotten at least one shot, and that's the most susceptible age bracket. And the good thing is also all these strains you're hearing about, you should not worry. They are more virulent, and some are more dangerous, but the vaccines work on all of them. So the idea is, don't think that means you shouldn't get a vaccine. That increases the need to get one quickly, because that's how we're going to beat this. And you're going to beat it, but keep wearing a mask.
Yes.
Wash the hands and socially distance, which I'm not doing. I'm going to get in trouble here. I wasn't. But is this your second shot? Oh, we're set. I've had 2 as well. So, well, thank you.
I want to thank you for coming. I'm the medical director of Neighborhood Health.
Boy,
I'm
Doc, how
Dr.
are you?
Weldon.
Doctor, yes, I've heard of you.
Yeah, and
No, I'm serious. We talked about you before I came over.
Well, thank you, because the vaccine that we're giving here is because of your program to bring vaccine to community health centers.
Yep.
And so we've been able to vaccinate patients in their medical home with familiar faces, to have it a positive personal experience, and I think that helps people that are afraid to have a familiar location and partnerships administering their vaccine. And I wanted to point out our team. We've given almost 20,000 doses, and they have not wasted a single dose.
God love you.
Every dose that they brought has gotten into someone's arm. So I wanted to just congratulate
By the
them
way,
in
on
front of you.
Saturday,
Yeah.
we gave 4 million shots in one day.
Yeah.
4 million. Didn't start
Yeah.
off that way.
And then the other thing is, you've heard of people having issues with technology and
Yeah.
websites. So all the vaccinations we've done has been because someone from the clinic called a person, texted them, someone from their church called them, a nonprofit case manager called them, and it's that kind of outreach that you need to really ensure equity. And that's
You
what
may
we've been able to
remember
do.
when I indicated we were going to go to these clinics to go out and deal with your organizations and others like you. I was roundly criticized for doing that, as you recall. But you're the ones who reach out.
Yeah.
You're the one that knows everybody who is just technological. I think of my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom, who's passed away, but my mom was a very bright woman, and she was a wonderful lady. I was one of those guys that I won the gene lottery. Everybody wished my mom had been their mom.
Yeah.
Not a joke. And but my mom, her ability to use a computer or to use a telephone and to sign up,
Yeah.
she would have been lost.
Yeah.
Would have
Absolutely.
been lost. And like all of you, very bright person, but a lot of people just don't have that facility. They just aren't know how to do that. And so what do? They keep putting off and putting off and putting off. But you know where people live. You go to them.
Yep.
That's why we've also set up around the nation mobile clinics as well. Tell them about what we're doing now in the mobile clinics.
Yeah, there's almost 1,000 mobile clinics now, and you're deploying mobile clinics and pop-up clinics to meet people where they are.
That's right.
Churches and community centers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, our patients are
Storefront.
walking to their vaccine from their neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the things we've done, we also started off, and again, we got criticized initially by some, but we opened it up to, we initially didn't have it, you used to go get your flu shot, you'd go to the local drugstore, local pharmacy. Well, we did that. We're now up to, well, how many pharmacies?
We're in the 20,000s, more than 20,000. You're going to be at 40,000 by April 19th.
And almost everybody's within 5 miles of a pharmacy, but still, if you were my mom and she didn't have children, she wouldn't have 5 miles, might as well be 500 miles to get there. So and that's why you guys are the best. You reach out, you know where people live, you know the people, and getting the churches and the synagogues and the mosques engaged in doing this is really, really important.
And they've just been wonderful partners. I mean, when we reached out to them, we didn't know what type of response we would get, but they've been reaching out, on their own time, signing up hundreds of patients, even if more than 1,000 patients for some of the churches we're working with. There's all this talk about hesitancy, but what we've seen is there is motivation to get vaccinated. You just need access, and that's what we're working with our partners to provide.
Look, don't underestimate. The more people who know when you go home in your neighborhood and you got vaccinated, someone who's afraid of it or worried about it,
That's right.
they go, you got it? It was okay? I mean, you think it's safe? Do you? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, and encourage them. Encourage them.
Yeah.
Because this is how we're going to beat this.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to beat this. We're now at what? 75% of people 65 and over have at least one shot. And the other thing I say to all of you, all of these new variants you hear about, you know, and they give them names. There's the one from England, South Africa, Brazil. Some of them are more contagious. Some of them do more damage than others. But the vaccines take care of all of them. All of them. So the more you hear about it, don't get frightened. The vaccine you hear about, the one from England, well, it is more communicable. But if you've been vaccinated, it doesn't matter. It takes care of all the strains, all of them. So, you know, the best thing, you know, everybody, some of my very conservative friends say, why does Biden keep saying, keep wearing a mask, wash your hands, and stay socially distanced? They said, it's my freedom not to. It's your patriotic responsibility to do it, to care about your neighbor. It's not so much just you, it's about your neighbor. Your neighbor. That's what it's about. So I came in no small part to thank you all. Not just all your folks who are doing this and not just folks here at the seminary, but all of you for doing this. It really matters. And guess what? You make your children very happy. Mm-hmm. You really do. How many times you get, Dad, you get your shot yet? Dad, get in the car with me. Where's Dad? Where to go? And pretty soon, I'm going to announce that everybody over the age of 18 is just automatically able to show up. And that means that if you have someone home who's over 65 years of age, get them to go now, because I'm going to be making that announcement in a couple weeks here. They're going to have to get the appointment now so you don't have to wait in line. We're going to open it up across the board. And, you know, we've given more vaccinations and more vaccine than any other country in the world. And the other part of this is he's sneaking up on me. He's going to tell me something. He's going to, come on, Joe, get going. You're talking.
Folks are sneaking up on me.
No, I know that. But, you know, and I just want you to know, so don't get mad at me. What I'm going to be doing is after we are sure of our supply, that I have enough for every American, we're going to start giving the vaccines around the world to poor countries. Because you can't build a fence high enough, you can't build a wall high enough, and we're only as safe for people who aren't vaccinated as those folks who've already been vaccinated. You can't, so you have a small country. I've spoken with 38 heads of state now. Spoken to the president of Mexico and Canada, the prime minister, and Vietnam, and all across America, all across the world. And they're asking, can you help? We've already been able to help our near neighbors, Mexico and Canada, a little bit, but we want to help all these countries, especially poor countries. They just don't have the wherewithal to do it. So anyway, thank you for what you're doing. And every time I'd walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, his name was Ambrose Finnegan, and he'd say, Joey, keep the faith. And my grandmother would go, no, Joey, spread it. Spread it. So let's go spread the faith, okay? I'm holding you up. Get out of your hair. Where am I going? That way? Thank you. Thank you.